Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox. I want to introduce my new friend and colleague, Tristano. Tristano, welcome to the show.
How
and
are you?
welcome to the family.
It's an honor. It's an honor.
Absolutely. Let's open with wrist checks because I think
Yes.
it's about the watches in the end. We're just the placeholders. Wonderful medley of colors and patina and age and grace and charm and character. And you wear it well and loose. Do you like wearing your watches
I
loose?
do. I like the jingly jangly Jubilee. I like it. It makes me feel, I don't know.
It's the Rolex rattle, only more so.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, good stuff. All right, and you guys know me. I don't wear my watches loose. They're uptight like me, and I'm wearing my Zinn EasyM 1.1 because nothing says uptight and buttoned up like a German Customs Commando watch. It's a lovely piece, though. I will say, for a 43, it doesn't wear a 43. And people tell me that this thing is so legible they can actually tell the time when they're watching my shows. So,
They
mission
made that
accomplished.
for the commandos.
Well, for the ZUZ, it's almost like a customs
Is that
enforcement.
police?
Yeah, it's like a customs enforcement unit. So you think like anti-smuggling, human trafficking, border enforcement, all sorts of crazy stuff.
Wow.
I know there's been a lot of questions about like who you are and how you fit into the picture here at Watchbox
yes,
and
that's
how
a-
your channel's going to change.
Yeah.
And I think
It's
there
not.
was
That's
a
pretty
little
much
bit of
it.
kind of holding at arm's length. I think
Right.
I've learned more about you in like the 2 weeks we've known each other since
Yeah.
you came here than I ever knew from seeing your channel.
Right.
So are people going to learn a little bit more about you now that you're here?
I hope so. I have to address this, is that the channel's not going to change. I just have more access to more watches. I'm always going to talk about $40 G-Shocks because they're a part of my life. I use these every day when I work out. How can I not talk about this? I think Watchbox, I think it complements. I've got a lot of people, I know because I get emails every day, people are like, thank you TGV for introducing me to the SKX, or they're buying their first Rolex and they, through the channel, they got into watches. I want to do that on a larger scale because if I can get the enjoyment I get from these pieces, if I can get other people to have the same enjoyment, that's what it's about. It's about sharing the passion. And when I came to Watchbox, the initial meetings, when I saw the studio, I just felt it's the right move. It's home. You guys, well, I'm referring to the people behind the camera that you guys can't see, but they understand. They get we're going in the same direction. So why not cover the full thing?
And it's fun. I mean, let's face it. If you could do watch stuff all day for a living, wouldn't you?
Yeah, right. And also, I mean, actually, I got to say a shout out to Marvin, who taught me an amazing thing. He said, "You are the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with the most." I got to surround myself with the best.
Oh, it's very kind.
But I've never met anybody with the knowledge. Like, I barely remember right from left. I have to stop and think about it, right? But you could tell me when, I don't know, the movement was introduced, and it's a wonderful. I mean, who wouldn't want to work here, look at watches all day, learn? I mean, it's the dream. It's the American dream for me. Anyway.
I've spent 5 years corrupting people's mortal souls with greed and... No, I'm just kidding, yeah. No, it's a good gig, I'm going to be honest. This is a lot of fun to do, and I understand why you first made the overtures to us, and, you're a great addition to the team with a different perspective than we've had before.
Yes.
The watch thing. Obviously, we're both into it. I've been into it since high school. Where did it start for you?
I inherited actually, I got a Seiko off my dad, from like a Seiko 5 from the 70s, and a Charles Frodsham pocket watch from my grandfather through my mum's side. So yeah, I had something very, very affordable and something ancient. Well, ancient in terms of mechanical watches from one of the largest, I think the longest running makers of chronometers of all time, English watchmakers. So I had this beautiful refined thing, and then I had this very kind of utilitarian no-nonsense Seiko, and it just started from there. I mean, I had Casios and all the rest of it. But what about you?
Oh, it was funny because I inherited my grandpa's watch, but with much less, I think, sense of circumstance. I found it in a junk drawer years later. So it wasn't a junk watch. It was his gold Omega from retirement. But again, it wasn't like a
Nice.
formal inheritance. It was like Grandpa was gone for a really long time, and I was searching for batteries or something, and so it was kind of like, oh my God, and I already knew what it was by that point because I'd spent years dreaming, and so all of a sudden I had this high-end watch, and a piece of Grandpa was back, so that was fun. So I had that going on, and I got to admit, my first watch of any kind was a G-Shock, and I still have it.
Oh, nice. I'm so happy you said that. I brought a couple of watches. I adore this watch. You know, this is my workout watch, and it's no nonsense, unpretentious. I think everybody should have a G-Shock, you know.
I have mine for a workout. Unfortunately, my mom, who originally gave me the watch, no longer wants to see it because it's now a veteran of so many workouts.
Right.
It's almost like the dog that's not allowed indoors anymore.
Right.
So yeah, it's I still have it, but I only have about half of it. It's kind of down to the module itself with a few like flakes of strap still attached and like the remnants of the plastic case. But I've had it since 1998. And look, it works.
Yeah.
So I'll give them full credit. Mission accomplished, G-Shock. You built the indestructible watch. Tell us a little bit about your background, because folks
Right.
really don't know that much about you.
Okay, so my mother's from England, my father's from Rome. I grew up in both places, and I also I studied in Florence, and then I married a New Yorker that I met in Florence, and the rest is history. I wound up here, well, not here, but an hour and a half away on the train. And yeah, that's about it's a strange mix. My father comes from a very working class background, my mother the polar opposite, and it's kind of I've just learnt to appreciate all of it. Actually, it's symbolized beautifully by the watches. The Frodsham is my grandfather's Frodsham and my father's Seiko. I mean, you know, the Seiko 5 was introduced to try and get younger people into mechanical watches in the late 60s, and it's, you know, that contrast, you know, but I appreciate both. You know, and I want to learn about both. So I got to ask this, because you were telling me you love JLC.
Yeah.
Why did you give the JLC up and go Zinn? Because
Well,
it's so different.
I had the experience, and you know the thing is, I've shot 4,500 videos of watches at this point, and once you've shot that many videos of watches, I've handled even more. I've done broadcasts with 30 watches at a time. I realized that ownership was less important than the experience, and in the sense that I had shot all those watches, I had made them a part of me just as much as the watches I owned. So wherever they go from here, like I sell them off, those memories, they're still with me. So
Right.
the same as all the watches I've shot and wanted
That's
and couldn't
very
afford.
poetic. I like that.
Well, I mean, it's kind of how I come to terms, and I guess you'll learn soon enough.
Yeah.
With
Well, I
seeing
hope
all
so.
these beautiful things and not being able to just perpetually keep them.
Yeah. I'm a little bit more materialistic. I have to kind of, and then I regret selling them. I can't, you know.
I'll tell you my biggest regret. When
Yeah.
I was in the military, and this is great, if this is your only regret from like a military career, I had a chance to buy the original Speedmaster X33, the Moonwatch. And I had a chance to buy it, and Omega had this military purchase
That's the
program.
Annie Digi, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And it was the first generation second revision, and you could have gotten it with the entire box and the accessories and all the pomp and circumstance. And on the Kevlar strap, it was a $700 military buy. You had to agree not to sell it, but that's fine for me. I didn't want to sell it anyway.
$700?
Yeah, $700.
When was
bucks.
this?
This was back in like early 2009, and I'm like, oh, I'm still going to do this. I'm still going to do this, and I kind of lost track and I forgot to do it. And then of course, you know, now every time one of these comes in and we're selling it for like $2,000, I'm like, you know, I had a chance way back when. That's non-buyer's remorse. I haven't sold anything that I regret selling, because like I said, they're all sort of...
Yeah, because you get to experience
Yeah.
it all here. So yeah.
I do regret not having the X33, though.
Right.
That would have been fun.
I'm so happy you said that, an Annie Digi watch, because I swear to God, it's a Breitling Chronospace. I bought it just before the summer. I sold it because it was a rare reference that was a kind of in between, not the big ones that came later. And I just loved it. It was such a refined quartz piece, you know. And I sold it to a guy I know on Instagram. He posts these beautiful pictures of it almost every day, and it just kills me. I'm gonna have to unfollow him.
I was going to say, that's not bad. If you sold it to a guy on Instagram and he still has it, you could get it back.
Yeah, I spent just over $1,000 on it, and it was mint from Japan. You know, it was
And you said it was a Breitling Chronospace?
yeah.
You know, Breitling quartz watches are one of the best buys, and I hate this quartz snobbery that exists where people say, "Oh, it's a quartz watch." It
Yes.
must be. No,
Yeah.
that doesn't mean like it's something you find in a Happy Meal. I mean,
Exactly.
there are gradients of quality in quartz as well, and
Absolutely.
that bugs me.
Yeah.
So I can see you're a G-Shock guy. I'm a G-Shock guy.
Yeah.
And you're a luxury quartz guy because you've also gone Breitling Chronospace.
But I still have Seiko quartzes, and yeah. That
Is there like a watch prejudice you hate most because the community's full of them?
Oh, I know.
Go for
it. Go for it. Okay, dangerous. That is a dangerous question. I just don't like overly big things that are big for no reason. If it's a diver or it's like a Navi timer, I understand. Fine. You're a pilot, you got a goggles on or whatever, you need to make calculations, fine. But if it's big for no reason, I just don't.
Yeah, I think there are two things I hate. I hate people who dismiss other people's favorite watches because it's not on a prescribed list. Like people go after Hublot because, oh, it's not artisanal. But, of course it's not. It's a big fun thing. They're all stupid.
Right.
They're the one that's beautifully made with a Geneva hallmark is just as frivolous in the scheme of things. Kids are starving. Let's get real. Let people enjoy what they want. None of this should be taken too seriously.
Absolutely.
So Hublot's is legit a way of having fun as anything that's got some certification mark on it.
Right.
So I hate when people spend energy actively hating other people's preferences. That I despise.
Yeah, I get that all the time. It's like, TGV, why did you buy this? Why did you buy it? And then they say, oh, I would have done this. Well, it's me. I'm buying it. It's for myself. I'm not buying it to please other people. It's just...
So the negative reaction when someone buys something and he's briefly happy and then all of a sudden everyone piles on. I hate that.
Yeah.
Just like what you like and let everyone else like what they like. Because, again,
Exactly.
frivolous.
Exactly.
No one needs this stuff. You've got interesting stuff there. We were talking about the military a moment ago, and you've actually got an interesting watch that follows on from that theme. Tell me a little bit about your Benrus.
Okay, so this, again, I forget the reference. I did a video on it recently. So there's the Steve McQueen one that he wore in Bullet but this is the sterile dial from 1970, so it's Vietnam era, the full stock numbers, everything on the back with the, I think they call it Parkerization. Am I right?
Yeah.
So it's just the quintessential made in America field watch. I've put it on the Phoenix, by the way. And I picked it up for just over $200. So a little bit of history, American history on the wrist. Who knows what that watch has seen? I'm still pinching myself about getting it. And it's hackable, of course. And it's functioning beautifully,
And that's a lovely piece, and it's proof you can get into vintage for very little money and still buy something legit.
Thank you.
I think there's a lot of tunnel vision, unfortunately, in collecting. People are
Yeah.
like, how am I ever going to get a Rolex? I'm like, there's like a million Rolexes out there that nobody wants. Buy one of those.
Yeah.
It's like, how am I ever going to get into vintage? There's a million watches out there that
it's
are not Paul
$200.
Newman's Daytona.
$200, guys. $200.
It's still easy and it's still fun to get into the hobby if you take the right approach and you have the right positive attitude to try to find fun in something that other people aren't coveting.
Yeah.
And I think that's the key to really enjoying this hobby on a going basis. One, find a way to like what you have, and two, find a way to like what other people don't like, because that opens the door to getting something cool and
At a
easily.
great price. Yeah, absolutely.
You got a little like stealth job in there. What's going on there?
So I have to confess, this is my favorite watch. It's the Explorer. Again, don't ask me references, but it's the 36 millimeter. I've just bought a day big gold thing to celebrate this, and it's the polar opposite of this. But that's what I like about the Explorer. It's no nonsense. Again, I've got it on a mil-spec Phoenix strap from the UK. It's just that do-it-all watch, and if I had to run out the house and it was on fire, touch wood, facciamo la corna, this is what I'd get, this is what I'd run and grab, because I can wear it on the strap formally, I can go in a swimming pool. It's just, I guess this is my version of your Zin.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. What do you want to learn next as a collector? And then what advice would you give to people from your new perch here at Watchbox?
You know what? That's a great question. And you know what? I'm gonna think about that and come up with a million better answers. But I think just to be open-minded, don't let the negativity of other people affect the way you feel about a watch. If you love something, if it's the most blinged out, gaudy thing, and you love it, you know, and I don't, for example, then so be it. You know, that's what you love. I think it's actually what you were saying earlier is very similar, morally speaking, the same kind of ethics is be open-minded, always keep learning. Some of these pieces behind the camera, we were looking at that beautiful JLC. There was I forget what
There's a bunch of cool stuff just off camera.
yeah,
in case you
yeah,
didn't know.
insane stuff. But just because you're not going to afford it now, or you can't afford it now, doesn't mean it's not worth learning about. There's so much to learn. It's such a pleasing hobby. So, yeah, and it needs to grow. I think actually,
So you think it should be more approachable, basically?
yeah, it doesn't have to be, the reference 5, 6, blah, 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 you know, just, it's like you were saying earlier, keep it real and kind of just enjoy it, you know?
Yeah, honestly, the one change I'd like to see in the watch space, especially online, is I would like to see more people treat folks the way they would actually behave in person and treat them
Yeah.
in person.
Yeah,
I would like to see more, first, honesty.
Yeah.
People being who they really are and speaking the way they really would. More respect.
Absolutely.
I would say just more courtesy and a sense that you can reach out and touch someone online, but sometimes you can also throw a punch.
Yeah.
And doing that with anonymity is malicious. So if I had one wish,
it's cowardly as well.
yeah, for the
Yeah.
watch community itself, it would just be that there's more respect across the board online.
I totally agree, and I think that is unfortunately it's a sign of the greater thing of the online world of social media nowadays. It's the side effect, but at the same time, it is uniting a lot of people. I'm sitting here. I get to meet you. I get to work here. So it is fantastic. It is, you know, dreams are possible. It can happen, but at the same time, I think, you know, if people are more positive, they can achieve. And slowly, the watches behind the camera, you can buy them.
Yeah, you know, since I've teased it, boom.
Yeah.
I'm doing Watches Live tonight.
Oh.
You guys know me. No surprises there. It's the Tuesday night show on Watchbox Reviews. Life goes on. We continue to be
What
who
kind
we
of
are.
blue would you say that is?
I would say that is... Well, Rolex calls that roughly glacier blue, but this is Laurent Ferrier, so I don't know. Maybe we call it ice blue?
Yeah.
Icebreaker blue? Sink the
Yeah.
Titanic blue? I'm not sure. Anyway, Tristano,
Yeah.
you are starving. We need to get you to a
Yes,
restaurant or
yes,
something.
yeah.
Man hasn't eaten since 4 a.m. That's his dedication and work ethic. Get used to it, guys. He's here to stay.
Yeah. Thumbs up. All the rest of it. Thank you so much. It's an honor.
pleasure.
It really is an honor, man.
I'm out. Tim out. Thanks for logging on.
Ciao.